Hi guys and welcome. Today's video I'm going to be trying out the brand new, this is Tom Ford, the Soleil Neige Collection. I picked up the eye colour quad in black diamond, also the cream blush, and I also picked up one of the lip glosses as well. Now before I start this video I put on my primer, foundation, concealer, eyeshadow primer, did my eyebrows, all those good things, but I haven't put on any bronzer because I want you to get a good look and see what this cream blush looks like. Now one thing you'll note in the description box below for the powder that I used, it is the fairly new one. This is the Tom Ford, I think it's called the Soft Matte. It's the Soft Matte Blurring Powder. Now I've spoken about this, I did a video on it, and I also spoke about it in a favorites and fails video. And although I wouldn't really call it a fail because I have worn it today, and it does give this beautiful blurring effect. It's just that with my oily skin, I don't think it'll last very well throughout the day. It's now spring here in New Zealand and today it is quite warm. So I've had it on for about an hour. It's still looking good, but I think probably in about 2 or 3 hours I'll probably need to repowder. So I'll either use the Tom Ford one again or probably reach for that new Prada one, which I am really loving. So just note, if you have oily skin and you see in the description box below that I've used that matte powder, it's really just for this video and to say that it is really beautiful. If you've got normal to dry skin, I think it'd be fantastic. Now I did today also use it under my eyes, and it's really beautiful under my eyes because it has those hydrating skincare ingredients in it. So I have quite a few powders like that, not so suitable for the rest of my face, especially during the warmer months, but really beautiful for under the eyes because it sets the concealer but doesn't really dry things down. So now let's take a look at the eye color quad. This is the first time with you using it. I haven't tried it yet. All I've done is taken a photo for Instagram, so it is still in pristine condition. It comes in this white, it is a suede type of fabric sleeve. This product has a shelf life of 12 months from date of opening, and it is made in Italy. And it also has 7 grams of product, and the packaging is this beautiful white with the silver Tom Ford logo at the front and at the bottom. And it does come with the 2 standard eyeshadow applicators. These are in white. One is sponge tipped, one with the fine point. I've mentioned that before. That is really fantastic, especially at putting on shimmer shades for the inner corner. Then the other brush, it's a little fluffy brush for applying the eyeshadow, and again another sponge applicator. So here is the eyeshadow quad 01. This is black diamond, and here you've got 2 matte shades and 2 shimmer shades. So I'm going to swatch this from left to right, top to bottom. So first of all, we've got a matte shade, and that is Soft Peach. Next, we've got the shimmer shade. That is really beautiful, and that is a taupe. It's got, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera, but it also has just a little bit of pink in there as well. So next is a brown. Now this is a satin. It's also got just a tiniest amount of shimmer in there as well. So there isn't 2 shimmer shades. There's a satin, the shimmer, this is a matte, and the last shade that I'm going to swatch in a minute, that is a matte as well. And finally the other matte, and it's a deep purple. I'll just go over that again. So you've got the matte, you've got a shimmer, you've got a satin that has a little bit of shimmer in it, and then the matte. And just for a comparison, I've pulled out last year's one, and this is Diva, and this was absolutely beautiful. So I can see maybe a couple of similarities, but there is a difference between the two, and I'll swatch this now. So again, swatching from left to right and top to bottom, and I'll do them side by side. So this one here is more of an ivory cream, so this one is the pink. And the next shade I'll swatch by this one, and this one's definitely got more, there's more brown in it, last year's quad. And then the next shade that's completely different, just down there. And the last shade, that is a matte, and that is a deep brown. I'll just go over that again, whereas this one is purple, that is the brown. So all of the shades are quite different to last year's quad, but the formula feels exactly the same. The mattes are a little bit powdery, And I forgot to mention that I ordered mine from Selfridges. It isn't available in New Zealand yet or in Australia, I don't think. Well, not at the time of doing this video. And there has been a price increase, and this quad is $100 US, so they are fairly pricey. So first of all, I'm going to start with the shade here. This is the soft peach. I'm going to use my Rapha number 14, my beloved brush. I use this brush a lot. And because I use it so much, especially when I'm using a new quad, I sort of know how this brush performs, and that's why I tend to reach for it quite a lot. But to me, it's just the perfect size and perfect shape for my eyes. I've got two of them, so I've always got a backup. I just really love them. So as I was putting this on, there is a little bit of kick up. As I was saying, they are quite powdery, but they are going on really, really smoothly. So I'm going to stay with the brush, and I'm going to go into the shade next. This is the brown one, the satin, and with the one that's got a little bit of shimmer in it. And I think with this one, I'm going to take this all over the lid, and I think also I'll put that in the crease as well and a little bit on my brow bone. So you can go on with these fairly sheer, and I've just gone on again because I just want to build it up. But once again, it is blending really beautifully, and that is a beautiful shade just all on its own. It's really gorgeous. So again, I've just tapped in there again. I'm just slowly building it up. Now I'm going to stay with that shade. I've got the Rapha number 3, and I'm going to put some of this on my lower lash line. This feels really, really smooth going on. I've just wiped down my brush, and next I'm going to go into this deep purple shade, and I'm going to put that in the outer corner. Now I think that this shade just all over the lid, sheared out, and then this over the top, that would look really beautiful as well. It's just that for the video, I just want to use all of the shades just to show you. Now that is a really, really beautiful shade, really beautiful. Now, once again, I'm just lightly tapping in and just slowly building it up. But it's definitely got the pigment there. So you can go sheer if you want to, or you can build it up like I am now, and that is just absolutely beautiful. Now I'm going back to the Rapha 3 brush, staying with that same shade, and I'm also going to put a little bit of this on my lower lash line as well, just to deepen up the outer corner. Then I'm going to use the applicator that came with this quad, and now I'm going to go into this really beautiful shade. This is the taupe, but has that little bit of pink in it as well. And I love these type of shades. They always tend just to bring an eye look to life. So I'm just going to press it through here, just over the rest of my lid, just through to the middle. And that is beautiful. I thought it would be, and it is. It looks really beautiful. And I'm also just going to put a little bit just up through here and just tap some on my brow bone as well. That is really gorgeous. It is beautiful. So I'm just going over again. Then I'm just going to flip it over. It's another sponge tip, but it has got the pointed end, and I'm going to put some in my inner corner. And I also think I'm going to put some on my lower lash line as well. Now I don't seem to be getting any fallout, but I go really carefully, and I do find by using sponge tip applicators with shimmer shades that you tend to get less fallout with using them. So I'm just running a little bit of this on my lower lash line as well, just through here, not right across, just under through here. So for eyeliner, I use the new Tom Ford, the gel liner. I have the one, this is in brown, and I love these. These are really smooth and they do not budge, which goes really well with my oily skin. So here is the finished look. And it is really gorgeous. The other thing to note with this shimmer here, so when I swatched it, it looked like a taupe, which it is, with a little bit of pink in it. But it also has this green shift in it as well. It's actually really, really pretty. And I think the whole quad together on the eyes just looks really beautiful. So now let's take a look at this blush and highlighter duo, and this is in number 01 High Altitude, and this has 15 grams of product total weight, and the highlighter and the blush, these are cream products. So I've got a couple of other Tom Ford cream blushes to do comparisons with. One that was available in the US and then another one that hasn't been released in the United States yet. So here is the blush and highlighter duo, and here you've got, it's a peachy pink, and the highlight, it looks like a frosty white, and these are a cream formula, and these are also made in Canada. So I tried to rub the swatches of the eyeshadow off, but you can see they're still a little bit there. So here is the blush first. So it is quite sheer, and you can build it up if you want to. And then if I just blend it out, it does blend out really beautifully. And we'll just put a little bit more on, just so I can show you how you can build it up, but you can also go really sheer if you want to as well. And then just beside here, I'll put the highlight shade. I don't know how well this will show on the camera, but it is a frosty white shade. And for a comparison, I've got the one, this was released earlier in the year in the US, and this is the Cafe blush. So you can see from that one, I've used that quite a bit. It is really beautiful. So here is the Cafe one. So this is more of a brown with pink in it, and this one is more peachy pink and a lot more pink in it, and this one's also more sheer as well. And next I've got the blush. This is one called First Blush, and this has been released in New Zealand, Australia and Asia as well, but to date it hasn't been released in the US, but maybe at a later date it will, so I'll swatch this one as well. So I'll put that one here, that is the First Blush, and this one is more pigmented as well. This one here is the same formula, I think, as the Cafe one, whereas this one is a little bit different, more sheer. So for this, I'm going to put the blush on first, and on this cheek here, I'm going to use the Sonia G, the Sheer Buffer, and then on this side, I'm going to put it on using my fingers. Now, the price of this is also $100 US, so again, this is really pricey. Well, it's definitely enough pigment goes on using the Sonia G brush. That is a really pretty shade. So I'm not quite sure, let me have a look at the monitor. It's going quite, looks like it's a bit more sheer on camera than it's actually going on. So I'll put on another layer just to show you what it looks like. And of course I've got my foundation underneath this as well as powder, and it's not lifting the makeup underneath. I don't know whether this will set right down. It doesn't feel tacky. So I'll go in again and just add a bit more to this, just so you can get a good look at the shade. So the first time I applied it, that is enough for me, for my everyday type of makeup. But just so you can see it on camera, I just want to build it up. That is a beautiful shade, and I do like the formula of the cream blushes, and even though this one is a little bit different than the other two that I showed you, they are beautiful and they're really flattering on my mature skin. So now with the other side, I'm going to put it on using my fingers, just tap it on. Once again, it's going on really beautifully. It's not lifting the powder or the foundation on underneath. So I'm just going to add just a little bit more. So you can see that it is buildable. So you can have it sheer, or you can build it up to this level. It is a really, really beautiful shade. And the way that it's applied now, that would be enough again for my everyday makeup, but I'm just going to go over it just one more time, just so you can see, just see what it looks like on the video. So it applies beautifully using my fingers, and it also applied beautifully using the Sonia G, the sheer buffer brush as well. So now I'm going to go into the highlight shade. I'm going to use the Sonia G brush. This is the mini base one. Now this is solely just to add light and just bring those high points out. Now if you didn't have oily skin like me and you have more dry skin, I also think you could use this highlight if you wanted to put it under your foundation, just to bring that lightness through, but I couldn't do that with my oily skin. The formula is just a little bit too emollient. I definitely have to have it over top of foundation, and I think it's working really well over the powder as well. So one thing to note with this is that it does feel, it feels a little bit sticky. It will probably set down. I've only just put it on. I think it feels a little bit more sticky than the blush underneath. But this highlight is really beautiful. I'm going to also put some down the bridge of my nose and just a little bit just up through here as well. So I think it is beautiful. I love the shade of the blush, that peachy pink. I think it is gorgeous. And the highlight, so it really depends with this blush and highlighter duo. If you're going to buy this solely for the blush, then I would say it's definitely on the pricey side. But if you're going to use both, if you're going to buy this for the highlight as well, then I definitely think it is worth it, because the formula is beautiful and I love that highlight over the top of the cream blush. I think it looks really beautiful. So next we'll take a look at the Soleil Neige. This is the Gloss Luxe. There are 3 in this collection. I just picked up this one. This is the shade Celestial. It looks like a clear from in here with a little bit of beautiful sparkle in it, and I thought this would be a really lovely shade. So what I'm going to do, I'll swatch some on my hand. I don't know how much will show up, and then I'll pop it on as well, and then after that I'll take it off and I'll put on a lip liner and then pop this over the top. So there is a swatch of it. I don't know whether you can see, but there's definitely a really pretty sparkle in there. And these glosses, they retail for $65 US. So that is the gloss just by itself, and these are also fragrance. They have, it is a type of sweet vanilla fragrance. It actually tastes really nice when you put it on. I think this is beautiful. It has a sparkle and it's really subtle, and those of you that have seen my other videos know how much I do love glosses. They're definitely what I reach for with my everyday makeup, and I think this is really pretty. I would wear this by itself, but what I'm going to do is just find a shade of lip liner, probably one of the new Dior ones, because I've picked up a few of those. Pop that on and then pop this gloss over the top. But by itself, for me, I think it looks really beautiful. So I'm going to use a Dior lip liner. This is the one in Rose Rose, and I was just having a look beside me because I've got all the ones I've purchased, and I think this is the 5th one that I've purchased. I love the formula of these. So I'll pop this on and then the gloss over the top.
The river flows one direction, and fishes, they follow the flow. What if one tried to mention that there were...
I think that looks really gorgeous. I love the gloss by itself, but over the top of the lip liner, I think it's really beautiful. So you could just choose any shade of lip liner that you want to, that you think will go with this look. But the gloss over the top is really beautiful. And these glosses are really high shine, and I just think They look really, really pretty.
More to explore. Here I am, I have a plan, I'm living free, don't know where I'll end.
So here is the finished look, and altogether I think it is really beautiful. This eyeshadow quad is just gorgeous and quite a bit different to last year's one. When I first saw the photos of this, I thought maybe it was fairly similar to last year's, but they're actually quite different. This deep purple shade, it's like a deep eggplant, is absolutely gorgeous. It blends beautifully. As I said, it's a little bit powdery, but it just blends beautifully and has a great amount of pigment. And if you go really lightly, you can also get a really sheer look. And I do think that if you put this all over the lid, just really carefully and quite sheer, and then this, pop that over the top, I think that would look really gorgeous. I love this shimmer shade. It's a taupe with a little bit of pink. And then it also has this beautiful green in it as well. And this brown, the satin with that tiny bit of shimmer in it, that is really gorgeous. I think these two shades here, as well as that again over the top, I think that would look really gorgeous too. You could get quite a few different looks out of this quad, but it performed beautifully, and I think the end result is really, really beautiful. But it is pricey. It's now $100 US. As I said, I purchased mine from Selfridges. This probably will arrive in New Zealand at some stage, and I don't even want to know what the price is going to be here. I would imagine if it's $100 US, and our prices are inclusive of our sales tax once they're for sale here, it's probably going to be around the $200 mark. I'm not sure, but it's going to be pretty expensive. So next we've got the blush and highlighter duo. Now, if you love a cream blush, then you will like this. I think the shade is really beautiful. You can have it quite sheer, but you can also build it up. And I'm just having a feel of it now. So it doesn't set completely down, but it doesn't feel too sticky. It doesn't feel like that my hair would stick to it. But like I was saying earlier, if you're going to buy this solely just for the blush, then at $100, this is very expensive. But if you're going to use the highlight shade as well, then I think that's probably, it's not really a better price point because it's still really expensive, but you're going to get a lot more use for your money if you're going to buy it for the blush and also the highlighter as well. But I do like the formula, even though it's more sheer than the other ones, because it is definitely buildable, and this highlight up here looks really gorgeous and through here as well. And as I was saying before, if you had especially dry skin, I think this would look really beautiful under foundations, but I wouldn't be able to do that with my oily skin. The gloss is beautiful. I love it just on its own, and I also love it on top of this lip liner as well. These are a beautiful formula, high shine. It has that fragrance, that sweet vanilla, which I don't mind. I quite like the fragrance, and it, as I said, it also tastes really nice when I was applying it as well. So overall, I'm really pleased that I picked up this collection to show you, and I hope those couple of comparisons helped you out before you decide whether you're going to buy this or not. Now, one thing in America, they are going to be having the Sephora sale fairly soon. So if you're interested in this eye quad or the blush or both, as well as the glosses, then this is probably the time to add them to your wish list. So when the sale begins, I think it starts off, I think for you guys over there, it's Rouge members, then you can pop it in and get it for 20% off. That's definitely a better price point than the price that I paid for. But if you want to pick this up now, this is available at various retailers, and I will have it all listed and linked below in my description box. So that's it for today's video. I would love it if you gave it a like and subscribed, and I will see you next time. Bye.